We're here today at Dean Clough to look at the work and talk to the sculptor Ian Judd. Ian's a fairly rare creature these days. He's a sculptor who's comfortable working on quite a monumental scale, and he's got a number of commissions around Yorkshire, including 11-foot high Angel of Peace in Leeds, the sculpture of J.B. Priestley over in Bradford, some large bronze reliefs in Quarry House in Leeds. The scale of the work, the importance of the work means that actually Ian's the sort of sculptor that generations of Yorkshire people not yet born will be interested to find out about.
You could say I started out as a stone carver, which I did really, but really I don't think you can discount these early influences from illustration, really. You know, people like Arthur Rackham and Beardsley and all these people, you know, because I think this is probably where I get this thing about wanting to tell a story in what I do, rather than just, I mean, some sculptors are just, they just want to do a thing, whereas I want there to be something happening, you know, an idea behind it, something that will make you think about something or other. So, and I think that's where that comes from, really. I'm not so interested in the actual stone or the fact that it's bronze or anything. I mean, I'd rather make a really good sculpture out of concrete than a so-so one out of bronze. There's a lot of work in stone carving, and I have started off with a big lump of stone and ended up with lots of bits, which is very depressing because you've got it wrong, and you haven't really got a clear idea. You think you have, but you haven't. And you do drawings, and the drawings look fine, but they may not work in 3 dimensions. Now this here is, I did this because in the yard there's a piece of stone I bought a few years ago now. I bought it because I just liked it, but the idea I had at the time, I forgot what it was. So I've made this to the same proportions as that piece of stone. So I'm going to just carve a big head out of it. But with that, I can work out exactly what it is. I can just chisel it out. Because otherwise, you could get in a real mess. So I don't want to do that. Getting too old to waste my time, getting nowhere. I used to make maquettes out of clay and plaster and stuff like that. And I'd come up with an idea, I'd sort of get so far with it, and then I'd have to go on with something else, and so I'd leave them lying about, and they just fall to pieces. So that was, whatever idea I had was gone. So then I thought, well, and this is quite recently really, I thought, well, I might as well just make these little ideas for perhaps for something bigger, and then just cast them, and then I can go back to them later. So there's lots of things around here which have become something else. This place is full of half finished ideas, and things like these waxy things up here. One day I'll work out how to do something with them. This is one of my experiments, which don't know what's going to happen to that. This is an old Adam. I did make a stone one of that as well. Lots of little men. I got them all over the place. I'm not quite sure what will happen to them. I did wonder about putting that on there. Instead of that.
Ian had a small show in one of Dean Clough's main galleries. it was a good opportunity for him to show us and to talk about some more of his work.
This is the maquette I made for the stone Mother and Child in Wakefield Cathedral, which I made in polystyrene, so I could just take it in there and see how it fitted. This is the remains of J.B. Priestley. This is made in polystyrene with plaster and scrim on the outside. Another Eve in bronze. I made this a long time ago, but it's changed several times. This is the latest version of it. A friend of mine asked me to do his girlfriend, which I did. This is the embrace. It's bronze as well, as is that one. This is plaster, which eventually I'll cast. This is Once Upon a Time. This did have a lot of frogs on the top, but now it's just got the one. This is a concrete Eve. I like concrete. I know some people don't like it. Portland stone. This is Yorkshire freestone. That's another Adam. This one was one of the first ones I did make. This actually led to these later ones. This is actually a maquette for something huge, which probably won't happen. This is something topical. Where did all the money go? Everybody looking confused. This is spring. What to do with the Battle of the Sexes. This was going to be another, I was going to call this Eve as well, but it's just a seated figure. I've been working on this thing for several years. It's probably not finished yet. I've made quite a few of these. I've made a lot of small ones, so I decided to make me a big one, which will probably be cast in bronze at some point. All the acrobats and the things I looked at like this were all perfect. Everybody does them, they're all perfectly balanced. But I thought it would be a nice idea to do one that was just about to fall over. They seem a bit more fun.
We've come over to Leeds Art Gallery now to have a look at one of Ian's best known public commissions. Outside the gallery is the War Memorial, upon which there is a modern statue of the Angel of Peace, which Ian was commissioned to do in the very early 1990s. Here in the gallery there's a small exhibition detailing the background of it, and Ian's going to take us through some of the issues about this.
This is the maquette I made to replace the broken original Winged Victory by Henry Fair, which was, I think, badly cast because there were a lot of problems with it, and in the end it was taken down and put in Cottingley Cemetery where somebody decided it'd be better off melted down, like a local scrap dealer. So I was asked to make a new one, but because of the problems they'd had with it, with the other original, I had to make sure that it wasn't going to fall over. So things like the legs were made a bit tougher, and there's an extra piece, there's an extra support. The wings were made a bit smaller because it was thought the wings may have contributed to the metal fatigue that the original one had. And instead of the sword and the victor's laurel wreath, I decided it should have a bunch of roses.